I think that it's more the idea that any system that exists in a closed network that has low trust needs to fundamentally redefine the business to be about open networks that have incentivized protocols and the complete expansion of free markets past principles of consolidated ownership. Because the more we continue to believe that this world is full of scarce resources, the more we're going to continue to propagate the existence of idea. The minute that we take a step back and we actually accept that this world is abundant, if not infinite, we are going to begin to gain access to those resources. And so not only in changing the mindset, but I think in changing the very foundation of the system logic, we have the ability to genuinely create world peace. That is actually an attainable dream within our lifetime, I believe. But if you look at the largest and most important business models of like the last, I want to say the whole generation, but really within like the last 20 years with all of the tech businesses, they're all based on data. Now what is data? It's intangible, right? It's intangible, but it has material value in the form of knowledge. We're living in a knowledge economy, right? And the other beautiful thing about data is it's an inherently non-scarce resource. We're never done generating data. Every time you use Facebook, every time you use Google, you're generating information and you're generating, yeah, you're generating data. And that's the thing is like what's happened still is those companies are getting richer and richer, but with blockchain, what you have the ability to do is say, oh, I'm a shareholder in my own data. I'm a shareholder in my Facebook coin and my Google coin. And anytime I give data to this platform, or I'm even a shareholder in my own identity. And anytime I give data to this platform, I am actually generating wealth, not just for this company, but for myself. And when we change that fundamental economic illusion and we actually allow people to take ownership over their own resources, that is when we're going to fundamentally create something beyond the information economy, beyond the knowledge economy. We're moving into an age of human happiness where we have the potential to transcend the idea of value as we know it. Bitcoin is not the internet, it's the internet of money. And because I think with media, like, we just have to change the business model. Because it's still about consolidated ownership. The idea that what you read is controlled by like a small group of people sitting in a room. What? Like the idea that you're reading content and you're like, oh, like maybe I should buy this token, but it's actually like a paid article. And you don't know that someone has gone in there. And like, why do people even get most articles written about them? It's usually because they've played some game politically and they've won. They've gotten an introduction through their friend, through the social networks that they know, or they've given someone money somewhere along the line, right? It's like all this value chain. We need to change and redistribute even the value chain of information, right? And I think that we need to, it's about redistributing the way in which we think about open sourcing the way that we consume and generate information. So the fundamental business model for media in my mind is like GitHub, where it's like, okay, like I've downloaded this information, I have these facts from these sources that are accredited and I'm putting them all in the story. And then even as I'm an author, if I'm a journalist, right? I'm not a journalist, but if I was, I just build the businesses I let, I want to incentivize others to give them the freedom to tell the truth, right? And so, but if I am a journalist and I go out there and I get all of this information and I assemble the story, no matter what I write, that's always going to be coming from like my opinion. No matter what, it's going to be subjective, right? And as much as you want to be objective and gather as much information as possible, like you've got one, unless you're literally Buddha, right? I mean, maybe Buddha has the ability to do that, but I don't know. I mean, let's ask him. But it's more about the idea that we need to create marketplaces where even if I'm writing something, I have two different people from two totally different backgrounds and two totally different opinions, and both of those people are incentivized to contribute to the story. So I write this long piece and someone says, well, I agree or I disagree, and then they back up their statement with facts. So we're actually incentivizing the public to be involved in the narrative creation of truth with verified identities beyond the idea, because truth is not subjective, right? And there are raw facts that can be proven true or false, like where did this come from? But I think at the end of the day, it's about, and not just incentivizing like angry debate, like, oh, this comment got so many likes because this person said something so offensive that now it's monetized. It's the idea that we're re-incentivizing the entire process of the way that we communicate to have more empathy. So it's really incentivized for two people from two totally different perspectives to come in and contribute meaningfully in a way that doesn't demean another person, but simultaneously creates more information around what is truth. How do we incentivize real truth? And real truth is not a process that is fully subjective. real truth is something that exists in all of us, right? And so I think that there are new business models for media fundamentally that have to be created, because the old ones, I've been a part of the old ones, and they don't work. And so I was very fortunate to be called out here through my friends and have that wonderful panel and session with President Fox. Right, it's a different dynamic, and I think this might be, there are so many people here from Australia, which I find to be really interesting, and they were telling me that this is like, in terms of this hemisphere, this is one of the largest events that exist within this hemisphere, and so everyone's flying out for it. So I think it's always amazing when we can bring new and dynamic groups of people together from all other parts of the world to collide and share knowledge, learn and grow and build together.